Welcome to Friday's Facts for the DIY Musician. Today, we are going to talk about how to book yourself at colleges. It's a great way to get a good audience and also to get paid. And so I'm gonna teach you today how to do that yourself. There are booking conferences you can go to. There are booking agents and stuff like that, but you can do it yourself. I know you can. I have done it, so you can do it too. I've been working in the college market for quite a while, and so I'm going to give you some tips on those kind of things. So let's just start. When do I book? Right? What's the best time? And so usually when we didn't have COVID, right, it's between April and June is when they start booking for the fall. And then for the spring, they start booking from November to January. And so because some of the schools didn't know if they were coming back or if they were going to have programs or things like that, this is the best time to contact them because according to what everything is saying, colleges are starting back in the fall. Sometimes fall means August to people, sometimes it means September, or sometimes it means the very, very end of September. So we're talking about you looking at local colleges, ones near you. You could probably Google and find out that there's different kinds of colleges, universities around you. The bigger the college, the bigger the budget. So you want to start thinking about that stuff. And so if you want to know what the calendar is for each of the colleges, and this could take a little bit of research, but all you need to do is go to any college website, university website, whatever it is. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a search bar. And on the search bar, you need to write these words, student activities. That is the place that you need to go to talk to the people who are doing stuff on campus and get paid for your performance. You might struggle into the music department and they want you to rent their facilities or student government and they don't take care of different things. Go to student activities. If sometimes if they don't have student activities, they have something called associated students. If you can't find it there, you can go to Student Life and try to get a contact for the Student Activities Board, right? And there'll be a general email and you can email or give a call or something like that. The goal is the Student Activities Office. And when you get to that right page, look and see what says events. It may say entertainment. It may say music. It also may have a drop down that says staff. So you want to actually look around and see what kind of events they have. Some colleges have a lot of events. Everything from a noontime concert from 12 to noon that happens in the quad, every single week, to a coffee house every single week where they turn their, study area into looks like a coffee house and serve, drink, coffee and popcorn and ice cream and all that kind of stuff, all the way to bigger events like homecoming or in the beginning of the year they do orientation. So in the beginning of the year, which is usually August or September for one of the colleges, or January, they pull out all the stops and they have all kinds of stuff going on for about 2 weeks. They have an acoustic player, they have a casino night, they have a comedian, they have concerts going on, they have barbecues, all kinds of stuff. And they usually have pretty good money to do those things because they want to get the best players for that. And so that's just some of the activities. You can also go to clubs and organizations. You can, in that area, just say clubs and organizations or look for the drop down because there are a lot of different multicultural kind of clubs. There may be an Asian Pacific Awareness Club. There may even be a hip hop club for you. And they all have their own little individual budgets and sometimes they do something different. And so there's a lot of stuff going on. If you are a party band, if you're a DJ, if you do some really fun music, that kind of stuff, you want to look at the fraternities and the sororities. And they also can be found under clubs and organizations. They have their own budgets, they have their own parties, they have their own, so that nobody talks to each other here. They all have their own little things that they're looking at. So if you go on a college campus, student activities office, and you look at what's going on, you may see all these things going on, and you can email each one because everybody has their own budget and they're totally focused on what they're doing. Remember who's booking this stuff. It's a student, probably between the ages of 19 to 22 or so. They're going to school, so they might be busy, but they will have an email directly to them, and they may also have a phone number and may give you their cell number, or they'll tell you when you're in the office so you actually talk to them. But the deal is you're going to need to email them. And so you want to email them, and if you get somebody's name in the subject line, you put "Attention Melissa, Friday concert series," and then tell her a little bit about yourself. That's just a little bit, describe who you are, if you're local, when you're coming to town, those kind of things. And then remember to just add, not too many things for them to look at. They want to look at the video. Send them the live video. They're going to push the button. If they like it, they're going to say, "I like you, let's book you," right? So this is the way this stuff happens. And so you're going to everybody individually. The key again, great video. You got to have a great live video. So if you do an acoustic act and you do a band, you want to send both of them to you, because there's different areas depending on what kind of stages they're in and stuff like that. So that's going to be very important, basically. The other person that's really important in the student activities office is a student activities advisor. This is the person who's paid by the college to make sure that the students are doing what they're supposed to do. You want to go through the students first, right? And if they don't get a hold of you, if after 2 emails or a phone call or something, you can ask for the advisor and see what's going on. Maybe the student has been changed, or maybe the activities advisor just needs to resend it to them so they can talk to you and stuff like that. So those are the key people to take a look at. And again, you can do it yourself. And the students, remember who's booking. It's the students. How much exactly can you earn? It really is different from coast to coast. And so I've done both coast to coast, so I can tell you that. Really, the West Coast is somewhere between $500 to $1,500, depending on how big the event is. And so like a nooner, 12 to noon kind of thing, and maybe outside or in the quad or maybe in the cafeteria or in a pub, even on campus, basically, may pay you about $500. May pay you a little bit more, but that's kind of the average here on the West Coast for a 1-hour concert and 1-hour concert. Not 50 minutes, not 45, not 70, 60. And so that's what we're talking about with that. For East Coast, it's more. And because it's more, it's because they're Ivy League colleges. So we're talking about maybe 1,000 to even 3,000 to do that same performance. Because how do they get their money? Their money is collected from every student tuition. So the bigger the school, the more tuitions that come in, the more money they have to do stuff on campus, right? So, and they want to keep students on campus, and that's why they have so many different things in them, basically. One of the biggest things I want to tell you is the bigger the event, the more money they should be doing it. So in the spring, they have Earth Day, and they have a spring fling, and they may have, in the fall, they may have a Christmas snowball or something, or they may have the homecoming, the orientations. And so they tend to have a little bit more money. So a lot of times they'll just tell you what they have, because the students doing negotiations, they don't know any better, right? But if they do ask you, you want to start a little higher than you think you can get, and you can never go up. You can only go down on a negotiation. So you want to try high and then see what they say. I always tell anybody who has never played a college before to quote $1,000. I say, when we go out of town, we get $1,000 and see what they say to you. So remember, these colleges have money. And if they tell you they don't, then that means it wasn't planned this year, the event that's going on. And so don't do an event unless it's a charity event and no one's getting paid and it's a give back situation and all that kind of stuff. Every time you do something for free at a college, they won't get the budget again next year. So whatever money they don't use, they don't get the following year. So you want to make sure you're thinking about that. Couple other things that sometimes they'll take care of your expenses. Rarely do they take care of your travel or airfare or something like that. Some do if they're really far away from where you are. But most of them want to just put it underneath one thing so they don't have to take care of your travel. Many, I find now, pay for your lodging or maybe associated with a hotel that will give you discounts and it'll be a good hotel. They're not going to, recommend a hotel that's not good for you, basically. They will always feed you. I have never not been fed at a college. Either they bring you stuff or ask you what you want or have you order from a restaurant nearby, or they just give you a ticket and you can go into the cafeteria. Always ask for lodging and food and see if they give it to you or not. It's worth it, right? So the other big thing for me, and I've talked about this before, is that your sound is most important. Most colleges have a bunch of sound systems on campus, and so they will have everything. So you need to get a great stage plot and technical writer together, and you can go to like freestageplots.com and kind of give you an idea of what you need up there. Or if you need one, you can email me at musicbizmentors@gmail.com and I'll send you a sample of one. So they need to know what you use, what kind of microphones, how many monitors you need, and what kind of instruments that you're bringing. Because usually there's not a back line. Once in a while there is, but usually there's not. So, and make that as part of your contract. The college will do the contract. They have their own contracts that they do. The only little thing about a college contract is you want to make, first of all, you want to make sure your technical writer is on there and make sure all the expenses that you're supposed to pay, including the sound, is included in the contract. It needs to be written down. That's going to be very, very important. So as we start getting to the end of this Facebook Live here, what are the cons? The cons are the students are busy and they volunteer. And it will take some time to actually research to find the right person. And sometimes you actually have to handhold, like 2 weeks before you're ready to perform, you might want to call them and say, hey, do you have to order that sound system? So sometimes you got to hold their hand a little bit. The pros, it's a built-in audience. And most of the time, it's a day performance. So you can do something at night in a nearby area. And the biggest deal for us is we get paid. We get paid. So if those three things are not going to convince you, I don't know what will. The other little thing is there's a lot of promotional activities you can do on campus. While you're on campus, you can maybe go to the radio station and talk to the DJ on the air and give out tickets or merch or stuff if students come up to you. Sometimes they have a TV station where they will actually interview you and have you perform and put it on their station all across the campus. And then also, every single college I know, usually digital now, but they have newspapers, which means that they can do a review for you, either a live review and come see you, or they can look at your music and do a music review, or they can even do a feature on you if you come in. You're going to have to contact those people separately, but the student who's actually booking it, you want to ask them about that stuff. Do they have a contact already so you don't have to go look for those kind of things? So those are the pros, and you can do it. Just pick 5 at a time. Research, get all the information, write it all down, put it, you put it on an Excel sheet or something like that, so you have everything. You have the phone numbers. You don't have to go back and forth again. What kind of events they have? Do there people in charge? All that kind of stuff. And then just start doing it. Start emailing. Start calling, and say, "Hey, are you having music this fall? Because I'm nearby and I am available." You do not have to have a booking agent. You don't need to go to any kind of conferences or anything like that. You can do this yourself. And it's exciting because the biggest deal is it just opens you up to a whole new audience.